Hey, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 20 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. Today's episode is powered by my sponsor Elgato Gaming. You guys know that I use the green screen to make my videos. That basically means there's no background. It removes that and immerses me into the content. I use the key lights in order to do that. And of course I use various other Elgato products amongst my setup to make my videos every single day. If you guys are aspiring content creators looking to get into this sort of thing, then check down below in the description to a link to my Elgato profile page. So getting on into the episode then, if you'd do me a favour off the rip and hit me with a thumbs up, that'd be amazing. 2,000 likes on this Saturday would make me very happy. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, clicking the little notey bell. So there's a fair bit going on. So the first sort of half to three quarters of this episode are essentially like SBCs, so throwback UCL marquee matchups, throwback marquee matchups, other stuff. I can't remember. What else did I do? I sold some players to make some money. You might have just seen that in the Irish players there. And there's just bits and bobs. And then we've got like the first three games of our weekend league. And that like middle section is where I did a bunch of like friendlies against my mates in order to quickly get through some of the objectives, and you'll see that as we go through. So I know it's gone now. It's been gone for a few days actually, or a couple of days at least. The UCL marquee matchups. Turns out, like, I think this was a silly idea. I don't know why I really did it. I guess because I like to get packs and have the chance of getting something good in them, even though at the time of recording, like when it was still out, the only thing in packs was Team of the Week moments, no promo stuff or anything. And some of the costs of those UCL blue cards kind of nuts to me. So I wish I'd have stayed away, in all honesty, because they were costing me over 4k a go, and I ended up using a couple of players that I probably shouldn't have and stuff, all to try and get a couple of packs to maybe get my money back. And that is exactly what we're going to try and do here. So they're quite good packs. They're like prime packs and rare electrum and stuff, I think, anyway. Like, there's some alright packs there, but whether or not we can get anything really to make the overall money back is another thing. So you have to let me know down below in the comment section what you got if you completed any of these SBCs. The one thing I am doing is I'm starting to fill my club up with a load of those CONMEBOL like Colombians, Chileans, and Argentine players. I don't know what to do with them. There is a couple of league SBCs that I think, like the Libertadores and the Sudamericana or something. I'm sorry, I completely probably butchered the name and stuff, but yeah, there's a couple of SBCs that are kind of like league SBCs that offer out a player pick at the end, which I don't know. Obviously, I don't have enough players to complete the whole thing because I don't have 10 sets of teams 2 times over, but I might be getting to a point where I could maybe complete a couple of those teams and make a cheap SBC for myself to unlock a cheap 88. I've seen Nepenthes has been really, he's really found a way to work those two league SBCs to almost profit every single time, as well as coming away with an 88 rated player, which is obviously great for SBC fodder. So I might need to look into that a little bit more, or of course there's the potential for, if that sort of thing really blows up in popularity, that those player prices go higher anyway. I'm not sure, but we got a Diego Costa from this marquee matchups, and that was pretty much it. That's why I really had regrets of wasting my time doing this, because like I got rid of some more expensive players than what we really pulled back there. A whole bunch of CONMEBOL players in that pack, 5 I think out of the 12 players in the pack. But then throwback marquee matchups came around, as well as that player moments, Florian Thauvin. I think I'm going to stay away from him just because I recently spent all of my fodder on Alexandro, and I don't really have much left. The next couple of weeks for me are like build-up time to get the players for a good SBC. Should there be one out by the time you're watching this, maybe we'll work towards that. But as of this moment, I think we'll wait for another cool player SBC to come out, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, that might add to our squad. So yeah, I mean, this was easy enough to complete. I think I had all the players in the club. They've just gone and chosen a few marquee matchups, I guess is the name of the SBC. They've gone and chosen a few, like from I don't know whether it was this time last year, or almost like what they're doing with Team of the Week, or they've just chosen random games, like random derby games, like Man City versus Man United. So Yeah, and they're pretty standard in terms of what's needed. Nothing too crazy. Maybe like an 80 rated squad for the final team, but you're going to get a 25k pack back from that. So why not, right? You know, it's not the end of the world, and you're going to come away with probably like easy to break even or profit on an SBC like this. So it's exactly why we did it, for the overall of the rare Electrum. So Laurie sold, and a few other duplicate players that I had that I put on the transfer list from my rewards yesterday. They've gone and sold on, so we're up to over 100,000 coins again, despite spending a silly amount of money on those blue UCL cards. So we would have been on probably maybe 120k or something, but we're on 108 for now. But hey, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and you know, it's always, I always almost like feel like it's always worth doing the SBCs just in case. Because I think, wait, when did I pack Messi? It was Messi from marquee matchups. I think it was. And I actually think Eden Hazard at the start of the series was also from marquee matchups. So it's always worth doing it, because one week you'll break even. One week you'll pack a couple of informs, and that will make you profit by about 20k. And then some weeks, you know, you might pack a crazy promo player. And it has been known to happen. It's not just me that gets that. It is a lot of people out there. So yeah, coming towards the end of marquee matchups packs now. Not really getting a whole bunch here. Like when your best players are 79 rated Savernier or Savania, or however you pronounce his name, you're not super buzzing. I will check for all of those silver players. Like we've got a few silver players throughout this marquee matchups, which I do need to just double check to see if anyone's worth anything, because there are lots of League SBCs out, and with the addition of those 88 rated players to the League SBCs, there are some silvers from specific SBCs that are going for bank right now, and like also, you know, if you saw at the start of the video, I sold some like bronze Irishmen for like 8k and stuff. You need to check your club for players that are from specifically, I think, the Republic of Ireland and maybe Northern Ireland as well. There's that new advanced SBC, isn't there, which effectively requires lots of Irish players. Obviously, it's like a group SBC, so you're going to complete 4 things to get multiple packs and stuff back. But with that being the case, right now those players are hype. So yeah, like I would sell them at this point in time if you've got any, and then maybe even bronze pack method could be very profitable at the moment. So I had a situation a few weeks ago where I got a non-rare Libertadores player in a fully rare pack. And this thing happened to me 2 or 3 times. And I thought in the end maybe we'd get our rare Electrum players pack back and get a chance at that. I think it happened actually in 2 rare Electrum players packs. Or no, one was a rare Mega pack and one was a rare Electrum pack. And the way that they fixed that was to give me 1 rare player pack rather than just making good and giving a couple of packs back. I got 1 rare player, so I guess they didn't even count the second time it happened to me, or maybe I'll get that in a couple of days. Who knows? It doesn't matter, but we move on. So I decided that, and you guys can definitely do this as well. Like, there's a much shorter way of doing this than just going and playing all of the games with those specific players. Is that if you just have a few games against your mates, you score the goal, they quit and stuff, you can get through all of this stuff really quickly. And I found a team where I could literally get Icon Moments Best and Icon Moments Keen all at the same time by doing these specific objectives with the correct types of players in the squad. So we were able to do that, and then you know, unlock ourselves a couple of players. So Roy Keane, I won't have a use for this weekend, like, because I've kind of got my 2 DMs. I've got Cyprian and I've got Atal, and I kind of need both of them in the starting 11 to get a strong link to each other. But George Best can definitely find his way into our squad. We have 20 games on an Icon Moments Best, as does a lot of you out there, as I'm sure we'll find out this weekend league. But I'm going to make use of that, so I'm just going to replace my Moments Overmars that I own, and I'm going to put Best in his place, and I'm then going to shove Best up top. So he is going to be my new striker for this weekend league. I'm actually really looking forward to testing him out, because his stats are literally outstanding. So yeah, we'll start him on 7 chem at left forward, up in striker, and even with that, with the correct chemistry style, we're going to put a 200 coin Maestro chemistry style on him, and he's going to be worth it just with the stats that he'll get given. So we get a little 85 rated from one of our reward packs for completing something or other. I'm not sure what that was from. But hey, we got an 85 rated Netto from it, so I'll most definitely take that. I also completed another bunch of objectives, which were the Italian stuff and like the Maldini and stuff. I guess you'll see that in a moment, or I might have already shown it. I can't remember. But yeah, George Best, I got that done as well. So I basically went up a few levels of XP and stuff, and earned myself a couple of levels, couple of packs. That's exactly where that pack was from, of course, from season objectives. And we also got the level 15 player as well. So yeah, Georgie Best comes into the side. We've used his middle one or his baby one. I can't. No, it was his 90. We used the 90 rated one at one point, and he was okay for us. A little bit of a letdown, but this one is obviously on a complete different level in terms of the stats that he's got. And with the Maestro Chem style, he's nearly maxed out in everything, even on the 7 chemistry. So I am super excited to try him out in the weekend league. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust where we play him. We're going to play him as the striker, and that means that Neymar's going to drop back. So Neymar, who normally carries the team through the weekend league, at least for this moment in time, is going to be the player which just sits back a little bit, because I don't really want to bring Ronaldo back to cam. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't think so though. I think Neymar will do a better job at cam. Ronaldo, of course, will be great up front with us, with George Best next to him. And then, should I be struggling in the second half, or I want to get Neymar more involved, I can swap Best and Neymar around as well. So there you go. We've also reached our level 15, so that's halfway through the season pass. Level-wise, not XP-wise. And I'm going to take Thorsby from Serie A as a CM, sort of CDM type player. He looks very, very good. I nearly took the Bundesliga striker Sargent, but turns out he's 3-star, and I don't really want that. And when I do first owner objectives, I tend to bring the forwards off anyway, and bring on my top class forwards. So having a good DM in the Serie A could be useful for us for the final batch of icon swaps or whatever in the next season, if I'm even bothering to do them. But hey, a nice first owner DM for the Serie A. So yeah, this is the squad. It is ready for the weekend league. Like I said, we are going to just flip it around so that Neymar drops back a little bit. I'm not super happy about doing that. I almost changed formation for this weekend league so that I was playing like a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow or something, so that Best could have gone cam and then Neymar and Ronaldo up top, or Neymar central cam or whatever. I just know that my wide cams in this 4-2-2 get a little bit isolated and don't do a whole bunch in terms of contributions. They average about 10 contributions per weekend league, which is just not that many, is it? So hey, we'll see how it pans out. I can always revert back to whatever I normally do anyway. But 4 minutes into my first game of the weekend league against a tough side, a very solid looking Bundesliga side, I went 1-0 up, and it is that man, George Best, that scored the goal. It was just some nice, tight turning and dribbling from him that earned himself the space to score. He then gets through with Timo Werner there. Luckily, he struck it like that. I don't know why he didn't take a touch and hit it on his right. That would have been the equaliser. And we get through George Best again right here. And I wasn't happy with that. I feel like I should be definitely scoring there. It was so composed and stuff. I don't know why and how we hit the post and missed. But anyway, we get very fortunate with this goal right here. I guess George Best assists Ronaldo because it gets sort of bobbled off him and deflected off him. But we go 2-0 up, and this guy then paused it. I thought he was going to quit, but he changed his... he changed everything, like his custom tactics, his setup and everything, and it changed the game for him. Now granted, he gets a little bit of luck with that goal right there. It bounces off the goalkeeper, but he was there to push forward and make the attacks happen, which then earned himself a goal. So we're 2-1 up at half-time. Doesn't look great for us. He's probably had a stronger half than we have, if I'm honest. And then when I couldn't quite clear that ball properly, it just drops, and it almost feels like a bit of a rebound. You know, it's the ball's come in, it's then come out straight to one of his players, and he's volleyed it home. But look at that for some composure and stuff from Neymar. So at this point, I'd put Neymar up front. I'd swap George Best, put Neymar up top, just because I know that I need to win this game, and it was like I needed to go back to my bread and butter, go back to my norm. So we go 3-2 up, and then I stupidly give a penalty away. I guess no matter what, my opponent was going to score in that situation, either from the rebound after it coming off the post, or from a penalty. But yeah, he ended up getting a red card. I haven't shown it in the video. I can't remember what it was from. I think I just got wiped out. And then Acuna plays this incredible, like, Hail Mary type pass through to Neymar. We counter-attack from my opponent's corner in the 89th minute, and we come away with a 4-3 victory. Super tough game. To start things off. That was a better opponent than I think I played the entire of last weekend. So a game where we probably shouldn't have won based on the stats and stuff. We've come away with a victory. So I guess we can hold our hands up and be like, we got a lucky win there. So, you know, at that point, hopefully I'll try and remember when I get the unlucky loss later on in the weekend league, which we all know is going to happen at some point. And at that stage, I need to be like, okay, well, remember you got a lucky win at some point as well. And it all evens out. So Bestie knocks a lovely through ball over the top to Atal, who headed it home. And then we get a nice goal with George Best this time, and assisted by Neymar. So at least he's still getting involved. And we're 2-0 up and kind of cruising here. Best with a couple of ball rolls, just getting around the defenders. He does move really fluidly. He feels like a complete step up from any George Best that I've used, which is the 90 rated version. I also imagine the Prime Best, the 93, is very good. But with the way that EA went with the Prime or the icon moment stats this year, they're like completely, they blow every other version of that card out of the water. They've all got like completely juiced stats, and you can tell that when you get them in game. So then I come up against this. We get a little rage quit there, and we move on into our third and what is going to be our final game. This guy's also got Thorsby, and I would imagine he got Prime closer in his guaranteed Prime icon pack. So we can both feel for each other. I mean, mine's not even making the reserves, but this guy's decided he's going to give Closer a go in his starting 11. I guess Closer's probably a slightly better pick than Inzaghi. However, I still wouldn't really want to use it. I don't think he really transfers or translates to FIFA very well either. So unfortunate. He was definitely the easiest striker out of my opponent's attackers to tackle. Yeah, like he gets through with Ribery. I do some goalkeeper movement just because I thought he was going to shoot that way. It turns out he had so much time that he could just change the direction in which way he was going to shoot, and he got the equaliser. Took me up to the 70th minute to get myself back in front again, and then the floodgates just seemed to open. So it fell kindly for me with Atal. I kept cutting back on myself and found a space to shoot. Other than that, he was blocking the shots nicely. And then George Best knocks it to Neymar, back into Best, and I'm just going to power that one into the back of the net. And that's 4-1. We scored 3 goals there in 10 FIFA minutes, and that is going to lead to a rage quit of 4-1. And we can be 3-0 for the start of the weekend league, with some nice contributions so far for George Best and generally my players in total. Like that front 3 or that front 4 of Bernardo Silva's been kind of quiet, I guess, but Ronaldo, Neymar and Bestie have all done pretty well off the rip. I think we're at like 4 goals, 4 assists, or 4 goals, 3 assists. It's not counted that one that we got a lucky bounce from Best, but I'm going to count it in my stats that I do on an Excel spreadsheet because why not? I think it is an assist from him. But yeah, it's a good start from the team with 3-0. The servers weren't particularly amazing, and that first game was super tough. So I don't know how this weekend league is going to really pan out, but for now, we've started well at 3-0. In order to not have to take Best out of the side for the weekend league, we need to go 14-6 at the very worst, because that way, that's our 20 games done with him. Anything worse than that, and we're going to have to remove him and bring back Overmars. So at that point, we'll swap them back so Neymar goes up top and Overmars comes back. But hopefully we won't need that, and we'll still have games left with George Best after we get up to our 14 wins. That's the hope anyway. But guys, that is going to wrap things up for today's episode. Do me a thumbs up. Do me a favour. Hit a thumbs up. That's what I'm asking. If we can get for 2,000 likes, that'd be insane. And of course, come follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down below. Subscribe to the channel. Hope you're having a good weekend. I know that there's no football on or anything, or any sports of any kind. But hopefully you guys are just isolating, spending time with your families and enjoying video games and Netflix and all of that good stuff. But yeah, hope you're having a good one. Take it easy, everyone. I'll catch you tomorrow with another episode. Peace.